Hey Mike, how was your team? How was your team, and how did you guys spend the break?
You know what? We gave them a couple of days off. They went home, some of these guys, and then we got back. We've had a couple, you know, you got to get the turkey out of your system. But they did and came back, good attitudes, healthy, ready to go.
You know, in this 3-2 start, how would you assess the start, the things you like and things that you need to improve?
We need to We need to every rebound, defensive rebound, offensive rebound, and defend without fouling. Very simple. Things you can control. We need to keep improving. We've played a lot of different type of styles. Bellarmine doesn't set a lot of screens, ball screens, but a lot of off movement. Hard to play. Played against his own team in Northern Kentucky, which was very difficult. Played against a team in Nevada who is pretty hot right now. Again, missing foul shots, did those types of things, and then went to Las Vegas where we got great competition. And so, you play a tough schedule to get better. And I thought after the Nevada game, going to Vegas, we didn't reach our goal by winning both games, but I think we learned a lot playing two really good teams on how we got to get better as we move forward.
You mentioned before those 2 games, the week of preparation, having those extra practices, which you didn't have, and playing 3 back-to-back
Sure.
games to start. How did you notice that sense going into those games and with the decent break in between these last 2 games?
It's just, it's important to have practices, where you can grow and get better. You're at the mercy of time and video when you don't have practice because you need the energy. But thought our guys really competed at a high level. We obviously we're far away from where we need to be, but there was a lot of improvement.
How far away do you feel you are from being where you want
to be an elite team? You got to rebound the basketball. You go look at the top 10 teams and see what they do. They're physical. We can't keep surviving and putting good teams on the foul line, plus 25 times a game. That's not a good strategy. So we have to get better there. I know we'll make shots. The 27 assists and 13 turnovers. We still probably could have. The numbers are great, but still, you could have, in a perfect world, had only 8 turnovers or 9, and those are 4 extra possessions. And so anyway, those are areas where we just got to keep improving.
Is the rebound piece a little bit surprising, considering that your bigs were, like from the outside in, seem to be one of your strengths,
Yeah, I think so, but they're just not in the game at the same time. And they've been in foul trouble. But it needs to come from everybody. Rebounding is not, one player boxing out and going and getting everything. Guards have to rebound. Everybody has to do a little bit more. And that's what we're promoting. There needs to be 5 guys in the paint rebounding because, we're holding teams to 38% from the field, or we held San Diego State to 38% from the field in the second half. Those extra rebounds eliminate second chance points, and then it gives us in our best, which is transition. And so it just becomes bigger and bigger as we move forward, and something that we'll just keep emphasizing. We're still not there, but we'll, what you emphasize, you'll do. And so it's one of the main things that we've been focused on.
How do you feel about your rotation right now? Is it working itself out?
Yeah, players dictate. Every game's going to be a little bit different. We have a lot of options. Nate Calmes has been great. I didn't play him in the San Diego State game based on how the game was going. I shortened the bench a little bit, how I thought we could win. But he's a really good player. Tomorrow night he could be playing 25 minutes. I think that's the luxury of what we have. Still trying to figure out how we can play 2 bigs together as we move forward and get healthy. But, I think we're a work in progress. We still have a lot of new guys. Even though we went to Europe, we're still learning. But the biggest thing is how we competed. Now we have to execute better on the defense glass.
With Moses, you're having a better game against San Diego State. How do you feel like he's starting to get into rhythm a little bit more, get a little more comfortable?
I think so. He's such a heck of a player, and he's just scratching the surface of what he's done and what he's capable of doing. And we're all learning each other. And so, as we move forward, I just keep seeing us taking the next step, and the next step, and that's what this thing is all about. What is our growth potential, and can we get them there?
Hey, what is that fine line with Frank, in terms of being aggressive and teaching him like your base of ability is availability?
Yeah. We've talked a lot about that, and he's, again, he hadn't played in a year, and getting him back, it was like that 10 or 15 minute, it wasn't, that's not what I was restricted or what he was restricted to do. It was kind of like, let's wean him in. And Xavier was like, we can't take him out. He just had that energy. He had that, the Frank, I don't even know what it, play like Frank. But again, over time, that's part of the conditioning element of what's your recovery time, what are all those things as we move forward. But when he gets tired, got to get him out of the game. And I told him we need this Frank, not that Frank. When he's this Frank, we're different. Same with Braxton, same thing. We got to get that out of him. But both of them have had those little nagging injuries. Braxton with his ankle, Frank with just getting that mindset back.
But I guess is the foul trouble with Frank? Is it because he's just trying to go after too much?
No, you know what, we're watching, like we'll sit there and break down every single foul. And some of it, like Braxton, we don't want him reaching fouls, like have your wall up fouls, have your try to block shot fouls, not the 94 feet away, going over somebody's back, discipline foul. Frank, the same type of thing. Sometimes they're, it's them not being in the right position. Which now they're trying to recover, and when you're trying to recover, you can be off balance or going the opposite way, and next thing you know, fouling. And so, it's more, there's some things that we can control, he can control, and we can coach better to make him better in that situation for sure.
What do you see from UC San Diego?
Huh?
What do you see from UC San Diego?
They started 4-0, watching them, Jerron Brooks, he played here. Jerron, I always thought he was a really good scorer, rebounder. Brian Pope, or Bryce Pope, he can really shoot the basketball. They're last year watching them beat, I think they beat Cal. This is a team, they have a lot of confidence. Obviously, they're playing their third game in 6 days playing here. They played in Seattle in a tournament. But I got a lot of respect for the coach. They're really good offensively. It'll be a tough challenge for us. I look at we look at one game at a time, but, every team that we play kind of brings a different element. This team, they can go 5 out. Their big guys can shoot the basketball with range, and that becomes a very difficult cover for us. A little bit when you say San Diego State, like Lede could go in and he could go out, but they had 2 really perimeter bigs. They made threes, 17-foot jump shots. This is, very similar.
You get to Lede last year, kind of both had pretty strong, successful games. Is it just a matter of those early talents, or losing one-on-one battles and things like that, matchup battles?
You lose matchup battles, but we can't let certain guys. We got to get to a point where we're going to force other guys. There's philosophies, right? He's going to outshoot them or whatever it is, or we got to force other guys to score. Felt like we had a couple of good double teams against Lede. I think in that game, it wasn't necessarily that. I felt like we couldn't guard them because we were fouling. You can't put a team on the line 41 times to your 21. And that's, now that's losing one-on-one battles. That's not being in position. Those are things that you have to correct, and we have to get better, and we have to be more disciplined in those situations. But those are the learning lessons that you have as you move forward. Got to keep getting better.
Obviously, free throws are not necessarily free. They're never free. It's almost a cliche. What was the message to Paul? We didn't have just 21 free throws, but those last 2 kind of won the game for them.
Yeah, we wouldn't have been in the game if he wasn't in the game. He made some of those unbelievable plays down the stretch, not only finding guys, rebounding, finishing. those are the breaks of the game. You make some, you miss some. You always go back to that play, but as coaches, we go back to 20 other plays in the game that, you play the margins. If we just got that defensive rebound, we wouldn't have been in that situation. If we just made that play, we wouldn't have been in that situation. If we just didn't foul, my gosh, guys, look at this. This is correctable. We can do this. And so I can guarantee you, though, he wishes he had him back. There's no player I'd want on the line more than him.
Because you guys are scoring 82 points per game, are you comfortable giving up 75 points per game? Because typically for you, you've been a defensive-minded coach.
Yeah, you know what? I go back to Purse again. At 75, if we stop fouling, could end up being 70. We start getting some, and a lot of fouls come off of offensive rebounds. So now, that defensive rebounding, get a few more, less fouls. We're not going to just become this different team overnight, but how can you, get them under 70? I look at our first year, people were saying, okay, you guys played zone. Well, you had Matisse Thibault, Okay, we did. But if you look at the first 13 games of the season, we were scoring. Teams were still scoring 80-something points. They were shooting ridiculous from the three-point line. But then when we went to league, as we had 13 games with each other, we just kept incrementally getting better. They got comfortable with the system. They got comfortable with the zone. They had never played it before. And then you started seeing Matisse become Spider-Man. And then, they gained the confidence. You evolve in certain areas. And we're still a work in progress. This is not the final product. I think we're going to just see this team improve as the season goes. It's not going to be, our success isn't going to be a straight line. I think there's going to be some bumps possibly along the road, but the quicker that we can solve some of these issues, the better we'll become, and that's what we're focused on every day.
So then, are there more tweaks to this sort of man-to-man defense that you're?
I think it's more, less errors, better positioning, better post defense, more discipline in certain situations, getting really comfortable rather than changing every type of coverage. This is what we're going to do, and make it really consistent and simplify. And you do it, you're going to play, and if you can't do it, you're not going to play. And as we, like anything, if you're 65% regarding ball screen coverage is the way you want, we need to be at 75 by the next game and try to just, never going to be perfect, but you're striving for that, and that's when you're on the practice.
When teams put your bigs into the ball screens, is like that area where are you seeing some breakdowns there? There is some, and it's hard. That's the game is a lot of ball screens, and our bigs are getting better at it, but not where we need to be. When Frank's activated, he's different. Braxton, same thing. And we just need to keep growing, and Wilhelm's very good. But just got to keep getting better at it.
Do you like those shot selections from Because it seemed like in the past couple of games when you guys would start to not make those threes, everyone was driving and kind of going for the layups or close-range shots. Do you prefer that, or do you want to see that mid-range shot start to come out a little bit?
I'd like to be more aggressive at the beginning. I think what we did was really good against Xavier in the second half was we got him in foul trouble. We were able to really attack, and we only took, I think, 5 3-pointers in the second half. But again, we're a good 3-point shooting team. If we get good ones, fire away. We want them, and even in transition, when we're getting there, defense isn't set. Find our guys, be really aggressive. We talked about defensive rebounding. I think we can also become even better offensive rebounding and get some extra putbacks. So that's someone that we're really focusing on too. And one thing real quick, we're also obviously we play on Saturday, not to get ahead of ourselves, in Vegas, and we're taking the team. We're going to the championship game, so we're going there the night before, going to the game, And it's pretty amazing to see something, you see this once in a lifetime, and it's pretty freaking special. And so for all the dog fans out there, it's historic, and just to be able to live through that is pretty cool. And so anyway, if you're in Vegas for that game, there's another game the next day. We'd love for you guys to come. Go Dogs.
One last one for you. You've been here a long time.
Yep.
Coached alongside a couple different football coaches here. How's your relationship with DeBoer, and what have you got to know about him? Maybe?
He's phenomenal human being. That's the one thing I've, Coach Pete, humble, focused, treats everybody. He's just amazing. Coach DeBoer, haven't spent a lot of time with him. When he got the job, I did. And we rode in the car to the Pac-12 coaches meetings, and after walking away, you know how you meet somebody and you felt like you've known them for 20 years. They're just, he's about everybody else. He's an amazing leader. And watching how he loves up his kids and doing that, so that's what it's all about, right? And, to watch it it's inspiring, to be honest with you. And, that's the great thing about University of Washington, all the coaches in every sport. They're just all great people. Everybody supports each other. And the culture here is phenomenal. Lucky to be a part of it.
Thanks, Coach.